Oh, man.
All right. Hey, everybody. Sean and Kevin live talking about burnout and support. So, two things that are like this in pharmacy. If you can't, like, we got burnout or support down here and burnout up here, right? And Kevin and I were just joking. We're not joking. We were debating talking about this because, like, sometimes we get a little burnt out for all the stuff we're doing. But then we're like, ooh, maybe not a good topic because we, like me, I've been in CVS, been in Walgreens, I got out of there. Um, but it's, obviously different levels of burnout in different situations, right, Kevin? So
Yeah.
you said something really good. You're like, what did I just say?
Yeah. Yeah. So Sean, so everybody knows, like, when it comes to a guy putting you on the spot and being like, here you go, buddy, go for it. Like, here's the mic. He's your man if you guys are ready for that kind of stuff. But no, I really think that the peer support and burnout, like for us, when developing these kind of channels out, the excitement, I think in all of healthcare is toward like, what's the next big best thing? Like that's what we're always kind of looking for. That's why technology sometimes grabs the headlines. Like today, Sean, the whole Apple coming out with potentially some technology to be able to measure blood glucose without any finger sticks. Like that is really exciting stuff. What's not as exciting, and that we often bury way too deeply, is everything related to mental health. Like there's a reason why we have a mental health crisis in this country, because we just don't talk about it. We don't talk about like how in this country in particular we work ourselves to the bone. And in some situations, like for Sean and I, for example, or any of you other entrepreneurs out there or business folks that are trying to build a business, trying to bring people together and connect dots, like there's a lot of work. There's a lot of things to be done. You have to be able to delegate well. You have to be able to rely on each other. And I think that's one thing, Sean, for me, that whenever I've had like breakthroughs in the career or in life, it's always been when I've recognized I can't do it on my own and I'm not good at everything. And so I've got to find people that are able to fill those gaps for me and take some of the pressure and the load off. But within our support programs and within peer support, what Eric is leading, and within burnout, what Tammy is leading, I think it's a great spot to come. Sean, you and I were just both laughing about this. Is it's really difficult to find people that understand what you're going through. Even with Savannah, I mean, with my wife, it's she knows like what I'm doing on a daily basis, but really being able to connect the dots, even with what she's doing at work, it's not always the easiest. Like sometimes you need a colleague that has been there, right? And so for you and I, like we get to the lament, we get to cry on each other's shoulders for a couple seconds, and then we get back to business and keep going. But sometimes you don't have that. And sometimes you just can't get back to business because you just can't get yourself remotivated. And I'm really thankful, Sean. I'd love to throw some more accolades at the things that Tammy and Eric are doing inside of their channels and so many others to really support all the folks that don't have those individuals around them. The meetings that you and I go to, as soon as we're able to make them, they're fantastic. I mean, people are just really able to unburden themselves and connect. And I think, those folks have a real gift on that. But do you have any other insights, buddy, on the things that, you've seen with colleagues and burnout over the years, or things you've seen with your work and Pizza's Not Working and some burnout stuff?
Well, I brought up CVS. I mean, I just think back to my retail days where I didn't talk to any pharmacists other than to grab a prescription transfer or that short overlap you had, where we had overlap back in 2016, 2017, where it was, a couple hours, maybe an hour. But again, those weren't very, I mean, it's not like you were able to sit and talk to your staff pharmacist for very long, because it was more like high five and tag and, you jump in the ring and you go while I go to finally take a bathroom break. So
Yeah.
that's, and that's what, it was funny when Eric was out here a few weeks ago and I ran the support group that night, I didn't have an agenda and I really didn't say anything. I just let everyone talk. And it was awesome to see just people connecting and just talking about really war stories. I shouldn't say war stories because I love the veterans, but anyways, their experiences and their burnout within whatever is happening within their situation at work. Right. So there's a lot of power to that. And that's something that we don't have as pharmacists typically, so that's why I love that. That's why I love that channel. That's why I love that meeting. And it's really like, even if it's not you, go tell your other pharmacists about it, because someone's going to need that channel and need to connect with peers to be able to unburden themselves. So
I saw the other day someone posted, I think it was David that posted this, but they were getting like a group together, like of just like-minded pharmacists or medical professionals to be able to get together on a live, like what you and I are doing right now, and just talk like through things that are happening, things that are coming up, and being able to kind of connect the dots. And everybody that attended that meeting, and I know there's others that have created these kind of opportunities. I know that like Blair, for example, her and Lauren and a group of other pharmacists went down to Costa Rica and were able to kind of connect together. But even in the virtual kind of environment like this, of being able just to not always be on, just to be able to just be yourself, have a conversation, be a few human beings in a room that have some things in connection, how powerful that is compared to the other social media kind of aspects we all have to live through of, I need to get X number of clicks and X number of views, and I've got to line up my text the right way, and I've got to have the appropriate graphics, and I've got to spend 5 hours on Canva so it looks pretty. We can actually be just human beings when we're able to talk with one another. And I think that's the beauty of the peer support group, and why you and I are so passionate about it. I mean, we don't need 1,000 people to attend peer support every week. We know that the numbers are not going to be massive, and people might not feel comfortable being able to attend all the time, which is why we try to bring in some speakers. If you're out there and you're listening and you're thinking, hey, I talk about this kind of stuff, or I'm great at these kinds of things to help people, let us know. Like, we'd love to be able to bring you in as a speaker in our peer support meeting so that you can let people know about some of the skills and abilities that you've brought along the way. We've had folks that have been experts in meditation, others that have been experts in substance abuse and getting through difficult times in life. And I think that's the other piece for me, Sean, is just getting together, like having time to breathe and be able to enjoy each other's company is something we just don't get often enough.
No, absolutely. Yeah, no, that's well said, Kevin. And I also think that, gosh, I'm sorry for honestly just talking smack here just a few minutes ago on getting out of CVS as fast as I could, because we have so many colleagues there who are working for large chains and doing the best they can, and we just want to support them, honestly, and that's just kind of, I was almost too excited when I said I got out of there, but sometimes we don't always have that chance. It was hard for me to find another job. It was literally, I applied to 10 to 15 places. And that's also what the support group can do as well, is like, it's not just talking about burnout. It's like, how'd you do this? How'd you do that? Like, and that's where you can connect and also just bounce ideas off each other. So
lots of side meetings from that, Sean, that we've had people wanting to collaborate on things, help with different job positions, help with resume development. I know we have got Lori and Pat that can really help you with, career progress kinds of things, but that's been great to see, those next advanced kind of steps of building out the community and networking. But I love that you bring that up about the CVS piece, because we've got a ton of individuals that are RPhAlly community members that, work for a major chain, or a vertically integrated system. And we don't have anything. I mean, we love all of pharmacy and support all of pharmacy. And I want CVS and Walgreens to do well for our pharmacists, right? And do well for our patients. And so that's what we're really trying to advocate for, and trying to have the peer support behind that so that we can find ways for everybody to do better. There's some situations, some working situations, regardless of who the employer may be, just isn't a good fit, for the time. And sometimes we can do some things to make it better, and sometimes we can't. And when we can't, I think that's, Sean, where we really can benefit from peer support and from Tammy, looking at burnout, because some of the things that she's posted, I just love. I mean, she's brilliant in the way she kind of articulates things and helps you rethink about, zoning into the things that you can minimize and just essential elements of life that can bring you joy, instead of having to have so much, like all of these things, that get in the way of just us being able to enjoy our lives. You and I talked to Jamie, about that, Jamie Wilkie, just a little while ago, about her just really having the epiphany moments of going, I need to zone in, to be able to just enjoy some of the simple things. And I think that peer support group and the burnout channel with Tammy, she does a really good job of helping you be able to take full control of the things that you can control, right? Not to get too philosophical for Kevin over here, but I think that is one thing I do love about it. And I hope anybody that's listening joins and get some advice there and give some advice to our peer support and all of our burnout colleagues.
You got it. And we also, just before we wrap up, so the last Tuesday of every month, we have our open forum for the advocacy channel. So if you're into advocacy, into helping out there, join RPhAlly and join that channel, the advocacy channel, and we'll have that meeting on Tuesday morning on the 28th. So
excited to see you guys.
Take care.